Before we get to our episode, I want to take a moment to tell you about a platform that is revolutionizing the way SMP artists market their clinics, and best of all, you don't need to spend money on ads to use it. The platform is called HighLead, and it's a complete sales and marketing system created by an SMP artist that is guaranteed to generate more bookings for your clinic. HighLead helps you capture, nurture, and close more business with dozens of features, including your own website chat widget, a unified text message, phone, and email marketing system, a review management system, helpful automations, and so much more. And beyond that, HighLead's team gives you one-on-one sales and marketing training, step-by-step onboarding calls, and responsive support. If you're ready to fill your pipeline with quality SMP leads, check out HighLead right now at gohighlead.com. You can get access to a 20-minute overview video to see behind the scenes, or book a live one-on-one demo with the founder to get all your questions answered with absolutely no risk or obligations. Check out gohighlead.com today. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Scalp Solutions Podcast. I am your host, David Santiago, and today I have with me Jennelle Harris-Martinez and Faviola Ramirez. What's going on, ladies?
Hi, thanks for having me.
So check this out. Let's get right into it. For you, Jennelle, where are you located and what is the name of the clinic that you represent, even though you got it blasted right behind you? But for those listening and they can't see, let them know, please.
First of all, David, I just want to say thank you for having us on here and how much we love your book, The SMP Blueprint. We recommend it to all of our students because it has so much information in there. So thank you for that. I am Jennelle Harris-Martinez, and I am the co-founder of SMP Inc. and the founder of SMP Academy. We are located here in Danville, California. It's about 30 minutes from San Francisco. So we're here in the Bay Area.
Nice. The Bay. How about you, Faviola?
Fabio, thank you again, David. And definitely for you new artists, you have to go on Amazon and you have to get this book. I mean, the Blueprint, it literally is, it's an easy read, straight to the point, and there's just so much knowledge, so many gems. Thank you for having us. I'm the founder of Pigment Effects, here based out of Los Angeles, and,
getting it first. Thank you. You guys are coming back on all the time. If you're gonna give an intro like that, I'm gonna have you guys every other week. I know Jennelle was being very she was passing the torch, but you got an amazing book out yourself. You went all out. I did an ebook. You got a cover, photo shoot. You took it to a whole other level, and it is an amazing book. And I actually had the honor of reading it before she actually put this thing into mass production, and it's an amazing book. So if you're listening and you really want to get some gems on the entire SMP industry and looking at it from a perspective of a successful female SMP artist, you definitely want to get that book. So let's go right to this. All right, Jennelle, why did you get into the SMP industry aside from wanting to make a lot of money? No, I'm just kidding. What was it that got you intrigued with this industry?
I had a friend that needed my help. She got really sick and started to lose her hair, and I started looking at some solutions for her. And that's when I found scalp micropigmentation, and I couldn't believe that it even existed. I never even heard of it before. So I did some online training, and I realized that this was definitely something that I wanted to do. So I wanted to get more serious about it. So I flew to Las Vegas. I trained with Marvin Furrow, who'd been in the industry for a while. Started doing that. And then he actually reached out and said that he really loved my work and he wanted to partner up. So I ended up opening one of the first full micros here in California. So we did a franchise, did that for a little bit, realized that we had some creative differences with someone else that worked there. So we left there to start this company now, SMP Inc. So it's myself, Marvin, and Tyler, and it's been our baby. But I feel like the most important is the why that we get into this industry. I have been in the beauty industry for 10 plus years, and early on, I realized that there's a direct link between our mental health and how we feel about ourselves. I'm sure a lot of people out there dealing with COVID can relate. We're not being able to go get our hair done. We're dressing a little bit sloppy because who cares, right? No one's going to see us. And we kind of notice that our demeanor changes, and then the next time you go get dressed up, you're going to a wedding or something, your whole outlook changes. So that's what really made me really passionate about this industry, because we have the opportunity to help people on such a deeper level than anyone really tends to realize. We're really helping to build people's confidence, and that's what makes me so excited about what we're doing. And so I keep pushing forward and doing more things to just improve.
Outstanding. Thank you for that. How about you, Faviola? What was your introduction to this industry? What was that calling for you?
I got into this industry because the interest of it, because I've never tattooed ever in my life before. It wasn't until my significant other was going through a hair loss issue that I was trying to find a solution for him. And, being the type of curious George that I am, my personality, like when I see something, I want to know how it works. He told me he didn't want a hair transplant. I stumbled upon SMP, just kind of digging through IG, trying to find, hashtag hair loss solutions. And then I came upon Tony's work. That was like the first artist that I actually got exposed to, and I was just like blown away. I was just like, what is this? Is this hair? Like asking every question that every person, wants to know when they first see the results of SMP, right? They're wondering, is this hair? What is this? Is this a transplant? Does it hurt? How much is it?
You talking about, is this Tony from Italy? Tony Abagnato?
From Italy.
Gotcha.
So I showed my husband at the moment, and I was just, would you ever get this? And because like Jennelle said, it is something that affects how you feel about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't take it well, and I saw it have a dynamic in our relationship where he didn't want to do as much. He didn't want to really get out of the house. He was just very insecure about it. So I was just trying to help him. And when I showed him, he was blown away. And I told him, I was like, you know what? I think I want to do this. And he was like, what? We'll do what? And I was like, I think I want to get into this industry. I'm going to find out more. And I did. He was like, if you do decide to take a class, I'll be your model. And that's just how it worked out. So I got to really witness firsthand the healing process. What it did for us was the most important thing, right? Like he started feeling himself. Like he started talking back. He started talking back to me when we were arguing. I'm like, okay, you're feeling a little too confident. It'll do that to you. It will do that to you. So really when I saw the therapeutical solution that scalp micropigmentation did, I was just blown away. I was like, I have to do this. I'm a person that loves to give back. So I think more or less, that's what got me hooked. Just really seeing what the results really did.
That's what got me hooked. Awesome. So now let's fast forward, right? You guys are obviously doing your thing. You transform into amazing artists. You're successful. And when you're successful individually, right, as individual artists, you guys are successful. And the last thing you think about is, I want to collaborate with somebody. Now, you guys end up collaborating together. You guys got this female empowerment collaboration movement going on. I want to know, what was the motivation behind that?
There's a lot of things going on. For me, I am one of the original founders of SMP Inc. And when you hear my company, you usually only associate it with the Vegas location. If you've been to any of the expos we've been in, you'll notice that I'm not on any of the banners, any of the promotional stuff that's put out there. And when I brought it up to my team, I was told it's because I don't put myself out there enough. And honestly, I don't think I would have had to deal with that if I were a man. And I had two choices. I could sit here and pout. I could have a pity party, or I could remember who the fuck I am and be a boss bitch. And the reality is, I have been in the industry for nearly a decade. I own 2 separate companies. I published my first book. I've created my own curriculum, and I've assembled the most amazing super team in scalp micropigmentation. And I know that if this is happening within my own company, then it's happening to a lot of women and a lot of people out there that are really just trying to find their voice and really kind of get stronger in this industry. So for me, I felt like it was the perfect timing. And that's when I met Faviola. We shared the same vision, the same passion. It was just, it made sense on every level. I respect her. I love her work, and she has so much to offer in this industry. And we're really just bringing it back about education. We're not over here. We're not hating men at all. It's not just about women. We're not over here burning bras or anything. It's just, we want to, have a place for education where people can learn, and we could come together and help rise and help build each other, lift each other up instead of bringing each other down.
Got it. Awesome. So how about you, Faviola? What was that conversation like? Did she approach you? Did you approach her? Did you find out what was going on? You was like, we're going to get together. It's on. We're about to set fire to this place.
Actually, we were both at a scalp show. I did not know of Jennelle. I knew of SMP Inc., the brand. I did not know of Jennelle individually until we were both at the scalp show. We were speaking at the scalp show, and I saw AJ holding her book, and I was like, damn, that's badass. Like, who is this? You know, like me, the type of person that I am, I love, hyping people up. Like when people are winning, it excites me. You know, I really, truly love to see, I like to get inspired by people that are doing better than me, right? So when I saw this beautiful woman on the cover of this book, and it says, Confessions of an SMP Artist, I was like, wait a minute, who is this? And then I was like, where'd you get this? I asked AJ, I was like, where did you buy this? She was like, I bought it from Jennelle. And Jennelle was just so busy talking to everyone that me and Ponce connected. And I actually mentioned it to Ponce. I was like, you know what? After the scalp show, which was amazing. I mean, we missed you there, but it was amazing. Like it was such an amazing time just to see all the people, all the artists that motivated me to get into the industry, right? To be able to sit there and just relate to things that we go through as SMP artists. So I reached out to Jennelle, and I was just like, you know what? I don't know any other women like women that have collaborated and like put something big together. I feel like we just spoke at the scalp show. Let's do something big. Let's collaborate as two, kick-ass SMP artists, women SMP artists, and let's just really empower other women to just, become big brands, because right now this industry is dominated by kick-ass male artists. I mean, they're dominating the industry, but, we want to be able to just rise up with our female artists, So I was like, let's collaborate, let's do something. Like, I don't know what we're going to do yet, but let's connect. And we just clicked, so I'm glad that I reached out. Because we just clicked, everything made sense, and everything just fell into place, and it just worked out. We have one secret to that recipe. We'll let you guys know a little bit later.
Oh, you got a secret for that? All right, we're going to get that later. And, I remember how it started like forming because of this, because of the podcast, I'm forced to now, like, I need to not monitor, but like I look at the other artists. And it's like, all right, let me see what they're doing. Are they evolving? Oh, perfect. Let me talk to them. So when that came up, I was just kind of like, that didn't make sense to me because I was just like, how? Why? You know, I was like, how did that happen? What's going on? Oh, I see what's happening. Somebody's going to open up shop over here. Okay, I get it. And then, you know, you guys just really started putting the content out there. I like the name, by the way. I know the name. I know the name gets under, but I as a businessman, I appreciate that. And like marketing, what is the Harvard of SMP? Yo, I rock with it. I rock with it. All right.
This ain't no junior college. Harvard, you made it.
You earned this. You earned this. We're not just giving these away.
This ain't night school.
So now that you guys are collaborating for training, right? Obviously, you understand that this is a very important aspect of the industry. What do you think about proper education for SMP? Like, how big of a role does that play for you guys and what you have established? Can you, Faviola? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, definitely. Education is just very important. I think that a lot of the artists that become educators kind of have the same story. You know, I got terrible training. I didn't really learn much. I went really, you know, just trying to figure it out into the industry. So that was the same for me as well. You know, I just kind of had to figure it out. And it was something that I spoke about at the Scalp Show. You know, coming as a new artist, I was coming in to pretty much talk about like my struggles, right? Because I'm still a new artist. I've only been in this industry for 4 years. So I was talking about how I figured it out, right? How is it that you got a bad training, but you're such a great artist? And my answer is, you know, I just kind of played it safe. I had a strategy. I knew that I didn't want to botch anyone, which, you know, we'll get into that because I think that every artist kind of has that experience because you don't really grow until you make mistakes, right?
For sure.
So education was everything. I want to pretty much be that educator that I didn't have in this industry and pretty much just guide my students from everything that worked for me, all the mistakes that I made, how they can just get past that and not even make those mistakes, right? So just teaching from our mistakes and how we learned is just my biggest passion, is really giving people the blueprint, teaching them everything, you know, not selling them up on, okay, take another course on this. This is going to be more money. Or take another course on scars. This is going to be more money. No, you have students that are coming to you to learn about scalp micropigmentation, you know, in every service, in every way it could help. So, you know, just being able to just kind of get a very full course on what it is, a full training on what it is that you're about to, you know, embark yourself with. So, you know, the passion.
You mentioned something that I can't help but like go back to, and it has nothing to do with the training, but I always feel like it's important because you said, I'm still a new artist. I've only been in the industry for 4 years. And I appreciate that transparency because you have a lot of artists that they're like, yo, I've been in this game for 2 years and know nothing. And I'm like, bro, 2 years is nothing. Like you're still learning. Like you haven't had all the different possible scenarios you could face and all that. And I don't want to tap on it too much, but I just want to put it out there. So if you're listening, you heard this. This is coming from a successful artist and who she still thinks that she's a newbie. And look at all this stuff that she's got going on. 4 years. So I'm saying that to say this. If you got 2 years, 3 years, and you're like, I haven't done anything in the industry, guess what? You have it. And it's okay. You're going to get there. Keep pushing through. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. I love when artists say that because I don't know. I guess you feel like, oh, I've been here. They don't want to say or how they really feel like, yeah, you've been doing it for 4 years. You're still learning. I still say I've been doing it for 5.5 years, and I still say, yo, I'm still a student to the game, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So now, Jennelle, what was your take on the training? I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping not actually, because it comes from you. I don't know if you have any like bad training experiences that led you to evolve into what you're offering now. So what was that like?
For one, I feel like I'm always still learning. I always want to make sure that I'm always being teachable. I think that's really important, no matter how long you've been in this industry. In the beginning, there wasn't a lot of training. Like we've come so far in the past just few years with the needles that we use, the equipment, with everything that you kind of have to stay on top of everything to make sure that you have the best techniques. I did notice that a lot of artists, when they were doing their trainings, will only teach you enough to where you're not competition. They don't want to teach you all the fundamentals because they don't want to oversaturate, or they don't want to, take revenue away from themselves. So they teach you, then there's so many layers to becoming a great artist, to where if you just have, a handful of it on hand, you think that, like you got all this information, but in reality, you really have to stick with it. And there's a lot to be taught. So, I think it's really important with the kind of education that we get. And I'm excited, all the new stuff that keeps coming out and all the new ways to learn.
So you say there was a lot of artists that were not giving all the information that the students would need to be successful. Mm-hmm. Could you give us a quick breakdown? You don't got to go, if you have 150 modules, you don't have to do that. But what's a quick syllabus? What's it like? I want to get into the industry. I'm seeing the content. I want to be part of the Harvard of SMP. What am I getting? Give me a glimpse. Give me a quick glimpse. Like, all right, sold. This is what they're offering. I want it.
We literally touch on everything. I think the most important is the skin structure, pressure, color theory. Like I said, we literally go on everything, but we do have something secret.
You have some secrets? Okay.
Some secrets on how we go through pressure. It's basically foolproof, and it gets you going really fast. It kind of jumpstarts your the way that you learn things. That's exclusive to us.
So you telling me I got to sign up for a master's class? I gotta go to the Bay Area for a master. Okay, I see. I see what's happening. I'm there. All right, I'll pay.
I think we're not scared to give out everything, because I feel like that's what this industry needs. I feel like the more lazy education that's out there really hurts us as a whole. I mean, the whole point is to make it to where you can't even tell that somebody has SMP, right? Like you want it to look so natural that, unless you don't know. But all the botched work out there, you spot that from a mile away. That's the first thing people see. I mean, look at Tory Lanez's dad, just for an example, because that's out there, in the media right now. That shit scares people. That will scare any potential client from ever even thinking about it. Or if they go tell a buddy they're going to have it done, they get laughed at because they're like, oh, you see that shit online.
That's all they have to associate is the horrible work that's out there.
Exactly. So good education is very important right now.
Got you.
No, and definitely good education, like she said, but also branding, that's how I stood out in the industry, right? I came out, I had to have a plan, like, how am I going to stand out in an industry filled with just amazing artists? When I started, there was Picasso Jeff, there's Matt, Scalp Micro, and there's Scalp Doctor in Arizona. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to stand out coming out as a new artist? And I was just, my thing was, I like sneakers and I like music. We're just going to bottle those ingredients up, and we're just going to make content, and I had a background with where I've worked in marketing. So I knew product placement. Nice. And one thing coming in as a new artist, I wanted to see what these very well-known artists were using. I'm big on products, right? So I was like, oh, what machine? I was looking at the machines, and I was looking at the inks, and I was trying to figure out, like, what is it they're using? And I couldn't really identify it. I mean, I knew Matt had Follicule, but you had so many products out there that you couldn't really figure out which ones were really, the best.
Right.
So I was just like, I'm gonna pretty much make videos, wear some cool sneakers and some scrubs, and we're just gonna put some dope music. So to me, branding and marketing is so important, and a lot of educators don't teach that. So to me, I love to tell my students, what to do, identify, brand yourself, because branding and marketing are two different things. So I do cover that in our training. Scalp micropigmentation and learning the technique is the most important, but also how are you going to take off as a new artist? You know, how are you going to start being able to generate income? You know, now you got the skill, but can you brand yourself? Can you market yourself? How do you structure your business? So you know, we do teach on that. Even though 4 days isn't enough, we do, you know, teach as much as we can possible, and we give our students access to our online, you know, classes that go along with the training, like just short clips, short videos, because you're not going to remember everything coming out of a training. You know, you're always going to forget, like, what was this, what was that. So that kind of gives you a direction. So education is just overall how to structure your business and how to really be a successful brand, not just be a good artist, but just be a good brand.
Hey you guys, we are excited to share with you some very exciting news. We have created an online training platform that you can do in the palm of your hand.
With over 20 modules and nearly 80 lessons, this is the most comprehensive and detailed scalp micropigmentation course out there.
For those of you who can't travel here, maybe you're in other countries, you can now learn from your computer, you can sit at home, you can sit in a bus, and you can learn scalp micropigmentation with the greatest innovators in this industry.
Want to learn more? Click the link below.
So feel me rain from behind. Black rain, black rain. Peace through in the game. Black rain, through the struggles and the strain. Black rain, elements of mine. So feel the rain from behind. Black rain, peace through in the game. Black rain, through the struggles and the strain. Black rain, elements of mine. To feel the rain from behind. I'm sorta like a killer devil rebel. The getaway cars are the sounds of the bass and the treble. Cause I get into mine able and ready. So
yeah, awesome. I mean, just with that alone, not a lot of artists, I know that for a fact, like a lot of training, they don't even tap into the marketing, not realizing. And I'm not saying, that's not part of their curriculum as it is, but that's such a key component to this side of the industry. Really to any business, because yeah, you can be the best SMP artist in the world, but if you don't know how to brand yourself or navigate through creating content, social media, I mean, you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure. So I guess that right there alone, guys, if you listen and see right there alone, they're gonna teach you how to be a monster. They're gonna teach you some skills, and they're gonna teach you how to put yourself out there. She said product placement. Not a lot of people that know what they're doing, that don't know what they're doing, don't say product placement, throw it out like that casually. That means there's some marketing experience behind it. All right, guys.
And it worked. You know, I got sponsored because of that. You know, yeah. David from FYT reached out to me. He was like, when we were on the phone, the first conversation, he reached out to me on Instagram. And to me as an artist, that was huge for me as a new artist.
Yeah, I remember that. You had a lot of people mad at you.
Huh?
I say, yeah, I remember that. You had a lot of people mad at you. The haters entered the room.
But you know, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. I was, hey. Do your thing.
And the sad part about it was I was so happy because I was a single mom, just went through a divorce, started this business. I took a risk on myself, you know, so it was a very accomplishing moment for me. And when he was just like, when he had that conversation with me, he was like, I want to make you the first female artist of FYT, you know, Emerald. I was like, are you kidding me? And then he was just like, no, I'm serious. I was like, that is, yes, like that's dope. But that goes to show, he told me, David told me, he was like, you know, I was wondering when I looked at your videos, who is this girl with the cool kicks, you know, and these cool videos showcasing our products, you know, and that got his interest. So there, it goes to show that what I put together, you know, putting these videos together, finding a way to brand myself, it worked. It got me sponsored by these companies, you know, FYT. And then from there, we went on to Follicule. And then from Follicule, we went on to Balm. So it just, you know, that was a recipe for success.
Nice.
So we definitely give our students that because it worked out for me. So, I'm sure that it's going to work out for someone else as well.
I'm gonna have to start whipping out the sneakers. It's on. I see bone, y'all. I see it's on. It's all right. So, Jennelle, Jennelle, how about this for you, right? So now that new SMP artists, right, or anyone that's wanting to get into the industry, right? Because you got a lot of people now that they're seeing what we got going on. They're looking at ladies like you that got, you guys are building an empire. You guys are branching out, collaborating. Everybody's here for it. They're excited for it. But what should new artists be looking for when they're choosing an SMP training academy?
You want accredited trainers for sure. You want to make sure that they have, let me get product placement. Let me just bust out this book that we have here.
There you go. Proof and concept. Can I see that? Damn, that's right. Impressive. Let me tell you something right now. I get to see them all. Show that one more time, please. I need that.
That's an SMP Bible right there.
Yo, listen.
Really is.
They don't make that shit in Staples, y'all.
Definitely not.
And they don't sell it at Barnes and Noble.
That's awesome. I like that right there. To me, that is proof and concept. That shows that you guys are serious about your business and you're spending the money the right places so you can send out the right message.
Thank you.
We're serious when it comes to education, and exactly what I said, that I don't feel they're popping up everywhere, but I don't think that they're giving enough content. They're not fulfilling their students enough with the knowledge that they really need to succeed. So we're trying to put a stop to that. And that's why I love this collaboration, because it's not just me and my experience, it's Favi and her experience, and we come together and we make even more content. It's, when they come and do our Harvard class, they get 2 certifications for both of us. And I feel even if you go somewhere else, just make sure that your trainer is passionate. They've been in the industry long enough to where they know how to troubleshoot. Because that's another thing too. I feel like a lot of artists, they don't know how to troubleshoot when they have like an oh shit moment, which happens often. You might be really good in your class and you killed it on that first client, but then your next client, their skin's completely different. The needles aren't working. Something goes wrong. You need to know how to troubleshoot to be able to, get through your client and to really become a good artist. So those are things you want to look at when you're trying to find training. Definitely. I feel like the 3 things you really need to succeed in this industry is proper training, patience, and tenacity, because it does get hard and you just have to have enough grit to push through it. And it goes back to having proper training. As long as you were trained well in the beginning, you know how to troubleshoot. There's always a way to fix everything. You don't want to go too dark in the beginning because you don't have room to step it up, or if you have an issue, you can't really go back and fix it. So there's so many ways to keep improving, and that's what we try to show our students.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Faviola? What are some things that you think students should be looking for when they're vetting their future training, their SMP trainers?
Definitely talk about, ask your instructors what they focus on. What topics they focus on, right? I find it that a lot of trainings don't teach people too much about density and how to work with the hair. Working with the hair is so tedious. And, you really want to be able to know how to manage it, how to get through it. So making sure that your instructors will teach you proper color theory, because it's very important to know color theory when you're dealing with coloring someone's head with permanent ink. So you definitely want to make sure that your instructors cover, hairlines and density, scars. You want to make sure that they cover everything. Botched SMP, who's a candidate for laser, who's a candidate to get it fixed. Is it fixable? You want to make sure you know all of those things. You also want to know how to close your clients. So just making sure that you're getting a full in-depth course. You're learning everything scalp micropigmentation. You're just not learning one service. Because if you just go to a training, you pay a lot of money and you only learn how to do one service, that kind of eliminates you from being able to take on, more money for your new business, right? So you want to make sure that you have a course that is fully in-depth, covers all subjects: density, scars, botched SMP, skin types, color theory, hairlines, not just one hairline, not just an edge up, all hairlines, you know, because choosing the right hairline for your clients, it's very important. So you just want to make sure you get a full depth course.
Got you. How about this? Let's get the elephant in the room. Saturated market, SMP. Are you guys afraid that you're contributing to the saturation of the industry? Faviola, if you don't mind. It's like, hot seat, you first, Faviola.
If we're contributing to the saturation, no, we're pretty much standing out in the saturation, right? So you do have this industry that's fully saturated, but us collaborating as two big brands together, we're pretty much we're pretty much standing out, because you're not just going to, like Jennelle said, you're not just getting a one-sided training. You know, you're getting advice from an amazing artist like Jennelle. You're getting my input on things. You're getting Ponce's input on things. So you're getting, you know, the dynamics of three different ways to go about one service and one technique, right? Because even though we're all creating a bunch of dogs, they all look so different. You know, it's art. So we're trying to identify people as an individual artist. What type of artist are you? Because you're not going to be the same artist that I'm going to be, right? You're going to have your own style. Things that work for you may not work for me. So really just, it could be as saturated as it wants, and it's going to keep on getting saturated because this industry is just going to keep on growing, right? Hair loss isn't going anywhere. And there isn't that many solutions. So to me, it's just, you know, collaborating with no egos is a secret to really just kind of standing out and just really being able to build something really, really great together. So
how about you, Jennelle? Are you afraid that the industry is going to be saturated? And not necessarily, and when I pose the question, it's not like, are you contributing to because obviously we know there's shit training and we know there's good training, right? So we know you guys are not contributing to the, you know, to the shit training. I'm just being like, overall, I think the way I posed it seemed rather like, yo, why you trying to put, what you trying to say, bro? I'm sorry. If that's how you took it, I'm sorry. For whoever's listening, I'm not that guy. I would never do that. All right. Jennelle, how do you feel about it? Do you feel the industry is saturated?
This industry is going to get saturated 100% because we're just in the beginning phase. Look where microblading was just like, 10 years ago? This is an amazing service that not a lot of people even knew about, or just now starting to kind of wake up to the whole concept. A lot of athletes are getting it done. A lot of celebrities are getting it done. It's becoming more well-known. And if someone hears about it and they've never heard about it before and they go Google it, it's not a joke anymore. They're like, oh, shit, I think I might want to have that done. So absolutely, this industry is going to keep exploding. It's going to keep elevating 100%. And I think that it's important to saturate it with good training, positive training, and saturate it with good artists, because that's what's going to boost this industry further so we all can eat. If everyone goes online, they see good work out there, then we all get clients. If they go online, they see botched jobs, and it's going to turn into a joke and no one's going to want to have it done. So we can't stop this uprising of scalp micropigmentation. It's amazing. Why would you want to stop it? It's just, I think having better artists out there is what's going to push us forward. I mean, look at all the amazing tattoo artists out there. Do you think they're fighting on if, you know, they're going to run out of work? There's always going to be more clients.
It's just us.
It's just us.
So let me ask you, there's a two-parter for this one, Jennelle. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. Actually, I want to hear both of you guys' perspective, right? Artist goes out, takes your class. Let's just say any class, right? Takes any class. They go out because they're like, yo, I'm ready to get it. I want to get my return on investment. Trainer told me all I need to do is 2 heads and I'm going to get my money back. I'm ready to get started. Now they botch their first client. Who is to blame? Student or the teacher?
I think that educator that told them they only needed 2 heads and they're good to go would probably be to blame.
Okay.
And even the most extensive training, 4 days and, maybe some additional online classes to contribute to that still isn't going to get you client ready by the end of your training. It is what it is.
I was so scared to ask that question. I was like, I don't want to do that, but I appreciate you, Jennelle. You so fucking real. How about you, Faviola? What do you think? Who's to blame?
Okay, so I've taught a good amount of students, right? And I've seen this before. And I've had this conversation before with a student. Who's to blame? The student. Because I never give my students that instruction. Oh, as soon as you take this certification, you get this training done, you work on 2 heads, you're going to get the return on your investment. I don't say that. I let them know, find family members and friends, work on them for free. At least do 2 or 3 heads for free. And then you can start charging not full price, but you can start charging, for your services, for your time, for just products and things like that. So I had a student who just went full force. He just went straight to it and he messed up someone's head. He pretty much went against everything that I said. And, in that scenario, it was his fault because that's not what I instructed him to do.
Got you. I put that question the day before yesterday, because this week I was in Miami with Taylor, and one of the students asked me, and it was like, so what happens if I don't take your advice, but now I go and I botch someone? You're not scared that that's going to make you look bad? And everyone else that was around, like in my circle, like they all looked at me like, oh, like you can risk it. I looked down, I was like, absolutely not, because I would never tell you to go out there and just put yourself out there like that. You hear what I'm telling you now. I keep telling you, you got to practice, then make your return on your investment. Because you could easily, as quick as you want to start your business, you could easily ruin your reputation and now you're done. So I wanted to see, because now I started going around, I started asking some of the other artists. I was like, yo, if one of your students botches, whose fault is it? And some of them were like, yo, that's my fault. I failed them. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Kept doing it. And then I was like, but why is not the student's fault? Like if you provided him, like you gave him the blueprint, you told him like, yeah, you can make your return on investment, but you got to put in some work first. Do some melons, get some, get it like you said, Faviola, get a couple of family members, do it for free. Work your way up, the right way. So I always like putting it, because even sometimes I don't like to get caught up on some of these SMP threads, and you'll see someone come on and it's like, oh, I did my first client, and then these guys are like, oh my goodness, you botched his head. Who is your trainer? They should have known better. And it's like, yo, how you gonna bash the trainer? This could be the best SMP artist in the world. If his student goes out and decides like, I just want to go rogue and botches someone, you can't hold that trainer accountable, especially if he gave him the like, hey, these are the steps you need to take to properly scale your business. So that's why I wanted to put it out there. I tell you, it was going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate.
We're training adults. We're not educating children, and you're going to do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what you can and you cannot do. I'm just advising you that this is what you should do. You should wax on, wax off for a while. The Mr. Miyagi theory.
I like that.
And then Karate Kid, you can take off.
I like that. You got to wax on, wax off. So what are some of the struggles you feel like you face as a female in the industry, and how have you overcome them, Jennelle?
Me personally, I think the hardest part was getting started was just getting clients in the door. No one really knew what scalp micropigmentation was, especially for men, trying to get them comfortable enough to come to me with one of their biggest insecurities and trust me to do a head tattoo they've never even heard of before was extremely hard. And I feel like as soon as I started to get like really comfortable and find my groove, and I'm like, okay, I got this, COVID hit and put me on my ass.
Ugh.
Just what else? And almost immediately during COVID, I got pregnant. So I was pregnant.
You was bored, of course. That's what everybody did. Everybody got pregnant during COVID.
I have a coronial, it happened to the most. So I was pregnant. I had my own business, and I'm like, the way the world was so uncertain in that moment, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I kind of had this panic moment. And then I remembered why I started this business in the first place. I absolutely love what I do. And this is also my baby. My business is also my baby. In addition to that, I want to leave a legacy for my children of something that they could be proud of. And I feel like this is it for me. I really believe in what we're doing. So I kept pushing forward. I worked throughout my entire pregnancy, almost right until I gave birth. My husband had to help me put my shoes on because I couldn't see my feet, but I was still there every day. And then 2 months to the day after giving birth, I signed a lease on my second location. I assembled my dream team, my amazing team that I have now. I wrote my book. I opened up another, I just kept pushing forward. And we're all going to have struggles, right? It's not just me as a woman. We all have our ups and downs. So it's just about staying consistent and showing up. And that's the hardest part when you're an entrepreneur, is just showing up and staying consistent. So, we've come a long way to where it's a lot easier to get people in the door than it was before. And just put yourself out there. It's kind of scary in the beginning because, you're first getting started and you're looking at all these amazing artists out there and you're like, oh my God, their work is so good. How come I don't look like that? It takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. Just like we were talking about, you got to keep practicing on the synthetic skins, on the melons before you move to people. And you got to get your hands dirty for a while you're working on different skin types and different scenarios before you really start to get good. But don't be afraid to put yourself out there while you're doing it. Don't be afraid to talk about what you're doing, and just stay consistent as you grow as an artist, because that will come.
Faviola, I have this for you, right? Because being an artist, being a busy artist, is draining. Being a trainer, being a busy trainer, is draining. How do you stay motivated?
Ooh, I'm a mom. That's my motivation. My hunger is different. I'm a provider. I'm a single mom at that. So I really want it. So in order to accomplish something, you really have to want it. And you're not always going to be motivated. But if you're disciplined, the motivation just kind of comes with it. So being disciplined and seeing that bigger picture. If you're someone that just lives in the moment, and you don't see a vision for yourself in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, you're not going to be excited to become that person. So you're not really going to have that motivation to pretty much do whatever it takes and persevere through those times when you don't feel motivated. Some of the struggles, to go back to that question about my struggles as a woman in this industry, is being overlooked because I am a woman, right? I think that in history, women have been overlooked for years, for decades, right? We fought to be able to work. So I think that we're still, in this day and age, still fighting, to prove ourselves that we're not just girls, that we can really run, Fortune 500 companies, we can really, rule the world. So I think that just being a woman is motivating enough for me because I feel like I have a lot to prove,
Dope. It's crazy because I always tell when the dudes talk, like we start like, oh, critiquing, I was like, what do you think about this guy's work? What do you think? I'm usually like, I don't care. But what I do say is what I feel like everyone in the industry, like men in the industry, need to be scared of is when a lot of females really start really riding the wave and believing themselves and going like, yo, I don't care if it's a male dominant industry, because you guys have that touch. Like that, it's just, you have a touch, you have a soft touch. And I'm not saying it because you're a woman, that means you're so, I'm just saying like you guys have soft touch. Like men's, like we're really brute. So we got to really focus on being, having that nice soft touch, making sure you hit the sweet spot. So I'm like, once these women start really like embracing that, and then they realize, oh, I got this, I could do it, it's gonna be game over. And I always say you gotta watch it because these women, they forming like the Avengers. Like, see, this is how it starts with you guys. And the next thing you know is gonna be, it's gonna be like a man in SMP is gonna be kind of like a man in the permanent makeup industry, or like that does lashes. You don't really see them there. So I always say that. They was like, don't start saying that, don't go on your podcast saying that shit, please. But yeah. That's what I say. Be careful, y'all. They coming. So I feel like women do so much better with collaborating and empowering each other over men. Like, I don't know if it's our egos that we just can't come to.
You just answered the question.
I don't know if it's because I don't have a problem with that. Like, I collaborate with whoever, whether you're better than me, if you're not, you do more. To me, I don't see it. I look at the big picture. What's the opportunity? Are we both going to come out good? But I just feel like you don't see it as often with the men. So, like, can you guys both, and I'll start with you, Jennelle, can you share some tips for like successful networking and building relationships within the SMP industry, whether it's, same sex, different?
We don't look at other artists as competition. We look at it as inspiration. And I think that's what sets us apart, like you just said, from the way that men maybe typically look at other artists versus women. For the most part, I feel like that's the key to success is don't break someone else down because they've been working their ass off. Use it as an inspiration on how you could find motivation in that and keep working harder in the industry.
Got you. How about you, Faviola? And I'll elaborate even a little more. Direct this towards men. What is it that you do when you when you interact? What did you do when you saw Jennelle and you're like, you know what? I think me and her could build. What is your advice for us so that we can break that habit of kind of like, I don't want to do that. I'm better than him, et cetera, et cetera. Like, what are some gems? Come on, take us to therapy, please.
The number one thing is not having an ego, knowing that you're not the best, knowing that you're not the smartest. You don't want to be the smartest. You want to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to level up and really grow. So I feel like, when I saw Jennelle, I was inspired. I was inspired because she's accomplished so much. She's been in the industry a lot longer than I have. And I wanted to learn from her because she inspires me. And I wanted to be able to build something with her because I saw just how powerful she is individually. I know how powerful I am individually. And I pretty much wanted to put us together and just create something really big. So I feel like men, there's a lot of egos that are involved. They're the best at the best, and I'm the best. And they always want the spotlight. But, I want to shine. I wanted to come together with Jennelle to shine light on other people. It's not even, me and Jennelle, we don't like the spotlight. We're actually very shy. We're timid, and we want to just be in the shadows of other people. We want to be able to allow you to shine, because if you shine, guess what? We're going to shine, just from you shining. So I think that's just overall, I think that's just us being, moms, boy moms at that. But we're just givers, and I think as women are givers. We're really, we like to nurture people and we like to give. And I think that's just one thing that men just kind of don't have.
Okay. Notes have been taken, my friends. So before we wrap it up, ladies, if I was a new SMP artist and I'm trying to make my way into the industry and really be successful, what's one piece of advice you'd want to give me? Jennelle, if you don't mind first.
Practice as much as you can. And when you think you got it, keep practicing. I feel like whenever you're starting something new, if you're not failing, you're not putting yourself out there enough. You just have to keep, because think about it, you're practicing on fruit, right? On melons, on synthetic skins. You want to mess up as much as you can on there before you start moving to your family. Because I don't care, your aunt, uncle is going to be pissed if you fuck up their head. So just keep practicing. Don't compare yourself to other artists that have been in the industry for a long time. I know it's kind of easy to do when you're just thinking that you're gonna pop out of this 4-day training course and just be the best there possibly is. You'll get there. You have to stay on it. So just don't give up. Keep going and just practicing as much as you can.
Outstanding. How about you, Faviola? Drop that gem. $5.99. Give one for free and the other one's $5.99.
I'm going to go back to what I talked about at the scalp show. Play safe. That's what I talked about the scalp show as a new artist, because I was giving advice to new artists. play it safe. That's what I did. Play it safe with your color, play it safe with your hairlines, because remember, your client is always going to come back 2 or 3 times. I used to have clients in the beginning that used to come back 4, maybe sometimes 5 times, because I would work so light and play it so safe, and I would go darker each session, but it eliminated a lot of mistakes. So just play it safe as a new artist with your color, and adjust it as your second session and third session come along, and play it safe with your hairlines. That's something also that you can adjust with every session. So play it safe.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. So before we wrap it up, Faviola, you first, let them know where they can find you. If you got any products available, you got some training, let them know all the good stuff.
So I'm I just relocated from Los Angeles to Riverside, California, because LA is a little too saturated for me. So I took my talents to the IE. We're located in Riverside. You can find me on www.pgmntfx, and that is pronounced pigment effects, because some people are like, how do you say that? Pigment effects.
That was me typing out your email.
Pigmenteffects.com if you are looking for any training, if you're looking for a mentorship. I do have one-on-one mentorships if you already have some ongoing training. I'm also going to start teaching in Spanish. For my Latinos that do not speak English, I'm going to start teaching a full Spanish course. So that is coming soon. I'm working on that. I do not have any products. I leave the products to the professionals. But I do have something up my sleeve that I am, coming up with for this industry that I feel is going to be essential. And there's nothing like it that has been done before. So it's a process to actually develop it. The Harvard of SMP is going to be one of the biggest trainings that you should look into. Definitely. So.
Awesome. Thank you. How about you, Jennelle?
So you can find us on our website. It's www.smp.inc.com. Our Instagram is smp.inc.sf, and our academy is smp_inc_academy. We post videos there all the time we're dropping gems. We give out a lot of information on for all the newbies out there that are getting started, or even if you've kind of been making your way through the industry. And if you think those are good, you should see what we have in store for our classes. I definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors. They have been incredible throughout this whole entire process. The second that we had told them that we're going to do this female empowerment collaboration, they were 100% on board and have been so supportive. Bishop is amazing. They have the best ink. It's already pre-made for you. Their machine is incredible. It mixes with all the different, all the needles. I personally use it for my PMU services as well, because it works amazing for SMP, but it's also really good for doing brows, eyeliner, lips. It's my go-to for everything. FYT is incredible in all their needles. They stay really sharp. They hit every time. They don't leak. And they also have a whole variety for SMP or for PMU as well. And then Balm Micro has been really good to us also. And they're really good for the cleansing of the scalp, as well as all the aftercare for permanent cosmetics. So we love them. We're so blessed to have them on board. And I also want to give a shout out to all the amazing women out there that are really making waves in this industry. I mean, just to name a few, we have AJ, Caitlin James, we have Kate Dawes in Australia, we got Ari, we got our very own Tag Reed over here, and that's just to name a few. I feel like, these are some heavy hitters in the industry, and I love just to be a part of this collective of women that are trying to make this industry a better place and bring better education and some dope SMP along the way. So come check us out. If you're listening to this podcast, hit us up, DM us on either the Academy page or one of our social media. DM us with Level Up and your email, and Faviola and I will send you a video of a training video.
A little gem there. All right, could you say that one more time? Give them the what's the link?
The keyword will be Level Up, and then your email address. then we will send you a training video with the two of us.
Awesome. Dope. Ladies, I appreciate you taking out some time from your busy schedule to jump on the podcast and answer some questions, drop a little bit of gems. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Scalp Solutions podcast. Until the next time, peace.